Welcome to NHL Hockey News Reports, and if you hear any car noises in the back, that's cars going by. I'm sorry about that, but here we go. So I want to talk about young players versus veteran players, NHL players. I want to talk about the pros and cons of each one, and kind of talking about what is the good thing to have about young players, what's the bad thing about having young players, what's the good thing about having veterans, what's the bad thing about having veterans. Let's get into it, and other things I'd like to get into. So this is a pretty good video. I hope you enjoy, and remember to subscribe, like, all that stuff, and let's get into it. So let's talk about veteran players. You know what I mean? These are a bunch of unrestricted free agents right now. Panoff, Marlowe, Pominville, Cassard, McDonald, Thornton, Mathot, Cronwald, all the biggest ones out there. Of course, you might be like, oh my goodness, why would you want this guy? But what's the good pro about having a veteran player on your team? First of all, it brings experience, especially if it's a player that has a Stanley Cup or two, or even gets to the final and just been in the season for a long time. For example, Joe Thornton. Look how many years he's been in the NHL for. Got to the Stanley Cup final once, but many years getting to the playoffs. Been a very fantastic player and really can help out your young players, definitely. Marlowe, same thing. Having David Cassard, because he's around 31. Still, he's a good veteran too, but definitely Cassard is a guy that can, be a good second line guy, and definitely would be that guy for them, because if someone signs him, he's more of a second line center, and he doesn't like being any other one but that. But talking about veterans, they just bring great experience. Your young players, your young guys that might not know how to get around. Now let's talk about young players now. How are they so useful? Well, the young, they have a future ahead of them. They have a bright future. They're cheap, especially they're on the entry-level contract still, and they're doing incredible points. Until they're off the entry-level contract, they're not paying big bucks. But then it's really, hopefully, worth it or not. But definitely these guys are out of this world, amazing, of young guys. But what's the con? They don't have experience yet. Of course, you know what I mean. The players are just, young. They can score, all that stuff, learning to get there, but they don't have the experience like the veterans do. Definitely, they do not. But some of these guys that hopefully your team can take, like Thornton, hopefully will go back to San Jose. That's what they said. They got an agreement. Marlowe, hopefully he'll get back there. That's what they said. Maybe, potentially, we'll see what happens there. That is one I hope they both come back together, especially both of them. I want both back in San Jose. Pominville be a great right winger. He did score some goals. Let me tell you what he scored. I was really impressed with him. He did score 16 goals. He had 31 points. I think that's pretty good for a third, fourth liner. What do you think about that? Maybe a little less, maybe around 10 next year. I'm just downing him a little, but just saying it out there. And these guys bring great veteranship, of course. They don't have a bright future anymore. The careers have ended, or on the end scale. But what they did for the career, like Joe Thornton, like I said, Pominville, Panoff, they did the careers. They're just on the the end swing here, trying to get hopefully a couple deals before retiring. But definitely these guys will bring great youth to the team. Definitely, we know that. Next, I'd like to talk about is one more debate about this is the pros and cons about having a young captain versus a veteran captain. So having a young captain, like for example, way back, well, not that far back, maybe 10 years, of Jonathan Taves. Young captain. Would you want a guy like that, or like McDavid as a young captain? Or would you want potentially like an older captain, or a guy that's been in the league for many years and knows how to get to the playoffs, potentially want to stay in the cup or two, been places. What would you want if you were a GM? If you had to sign a captain, which one would you want? Now, of course, you'd be like, well, if I'm a young guy, he'll be good with the young guys we have on our team, hopefully. And, you know what I mean, hopefully will be good enough. But then you really think about, not just that, but like a team, you know, it almost, for me, it depends on basically the team. You know what I mean? It depends. If, you know, for example, a team like the Oilers, I don't know who I would pick be a captain except McDavid, because he is the better player. I feel like that's the one to go for. But a team like San Jose, or a team like, I don't know, just a team that might want an older, you know, captain. But I think both, you know what I mean, it depends on the team. I think if you have a young team, or a team that only has one good player and the rest are junk, like the Oilers, well, except Leon Draisaitl, but and Nugent Hopkins, but then you would do that. But you know what I mean, I feel like it just does depend on the team, basically, right? I hope you all enjoyed talking about veterans and young players. They all have the pros and cons, and definitely it's better to have a young player over an older player. Definitely it's much better. But you know what I mean, I hope everything's good with all of you, and I'll see you next video. This is NHL Hockey News Reports, and please like the video, ding the bell, comment, share, and I'll see you next video. This is NHL Hockey News Reports. Let's get to 150 subs. We're about 10 subs there, so please do that, and I'll see you next video. Bye.